All right, well, fun week in football. Man, there were a lot of blowouts, I believe, last weekend. Some interesting games.
Mm,
Um, you know, then wow, just a lot happened. Of course, baseball playoffs going on right now. A lot of trades that happened so soon that we thought we were going to be waiting a few weeks to see happen. But we'll break all
right.
that down in a moment. We'll also have our week 7 picks and our tinkle on this, but we begin with our takeaways. And Jason, I'll let you take it away.
No pun intended. But
Or pun intended,
yeah,
whichever you
to
prefer.
start off, yeah, right. To start off, my first ones, it's about time them Chiefs fans finally, think that they can get back on level here as they get the loss against the Buffalo Bills. I was getting a little scared there. I mean, you leave over a minute of time left on the board. Patrick Mahomes is going to make something happen. Well, he kind of choked the game away. He had an off balance. I mean, he was getting pressure. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like a clean pocket he had, but he ran to his, I want to say his right, and had an off balance sidearm throw, and Taron Johnson gets the very clutch interception. Of course, Josh Allen, the drive beforehand, had a touchdown pass to Dawson Knox. It's his first touchdown of the year, and it came in great fashion. He did it for his brother Luke Dawson, or Luke Knox, the one that shortly passed away earlier this season. So best wishes come out to there. But it's a big statement win for the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, their defense didn't really hold up very well against the Chiefs, but they did have a couple great takeaways. Khair Elam, I think he's going to be a great corner in the NFL. I don't think a lot of people even talk highly about him. They talk more about Sauce Gardner than they do about Elam. I think Elam,
I mean,
like when he
for the
paired
right
with
reason.
Tre'Davious White, right?
For the
Well,
right
yeah,
reason.
I mean,
Sauce early on to me has been, very, very close. I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but he has definitely kept a lot of top receivers in check.
yeah, he was sought out to be one of the best corners out of college, and for the right reason. But going back to Elam and the Bills defense, I mean, this Bills defense is number one defense for the last few years for a reason, and they also have one of the best scoring offenses. Of course, they didn't put up the points against the Kansas City Chiefs, but their defense surely helped keep the Chiefs from scoring super high against them, which is something you need to have against Mahomes, and especially if you're going to play this team probably again in the playoffs, you're going to have that defense come up. And having Tre'Davious White come back healthy, probably heading into January, is probably going to be clutch. It's going to be huge. This game definitely could have gone either way, because if that interception did not happen, both of those interceptions, I would probably be talking about how the Chiefs trounced the Bills yet again. So, moving forward, Golden State Warriors re-signed two pivotal players to help them win a championship this past season, and two of them are Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole. No, you would think it would be others, but no, Andrew Wiggins, I think he's found a home. I think he's found a team that he can honestly call home, and it's the Golden State Warriors. Jordan Poole has proved to be a great bench player, so both of these players are great pivotal players for the Golden State Warriors. It's crazy that these players come around and they're not like big all-stars. Golden State had that big all-star in Kevin Durant and won a couple rings. Now you add in Andrew Wiggins, who isn't really sought out to be the biggest name out there. If you look at the Golden State Warriors, yeah, you got Steph, you have Clay, but you wouldn't they're not like Steph is probably, one of the biggest all-stars out there, one of the biggest star basketball players. You got Clay, who's, second fiddle to Steph Curry. But if you look at that team in a whole, there's not really a whole lot of all-stars, maybe other than just like the two Splash Brothers, if you think about it.
Yeah. Unless you ask Draymond, then he thinks he's, number 3, which is nowhere close.
If I remember correctly, I think Andrew Wiggins was an all-star this past season too, so they might have had 3 this past year.
I'm pretty sure he was.
I guess the real question is, can these pivotal pieces help keep the Warriors stay relevant for years to come? I think so. I mean, I know Steph ain't going to be around forever, but if you look at the young team that they put together, a lot of the young roster and the young players, they build through the draft.
I mean, and let's be fair, though, Wiggins was not... Yeah. But I will say it also falls on coaching, and let's face it, Steve Kerr is one of the best in the business right now. So,
I mean,
they'll be relevant as long as they have him.
The best learns from the best. So, yes, he is the best out there, but look who he's also learned under as a player. He learned under Phil Jackson and Greg Popovich, who are 2 of the best well-known coaches in the NBA. Greg has 5 championships to his resume, and then also Phil Jackson has quite a lot.
Oh, yeah.
He has 9 as a head coach. Actually,
I think he has 10 or 11 because he won all of Kobe's 5, I believe.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, he's got the 6 with...
Yeah, he's got the 6 with Mike.
He has a 5 with... So, 11. Yeah, so if you think about it, Steve Kerr was in great company as a basketball player. So, to win all the rings that he has won as a player with the Bulls and also Spurs, and then the ones that he has won with as a head coach, he's almost right there with Phil Jackson and how many rings he has, and it's crazy to think about.
And here's the thing, and I'll still be biased, and I'll still say Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in the league. But that's because, again, look at what he's accomplished with him without the big 3. But I will say that, Steve Kerr, in terms of managing all-star egos, I feel like he's done the absolute best job. I mean, look at it. I mean, he's got Draymond Green in the news every other week for something with a teammate. And he still somehow keeps that team focused. He keeps them ready to go. Again, 72-9, 3-1, or 73-9, 3-1 series lead. Yeah, they blew that, but they had to get there somehow, right? So he's been good. He's been good at doing that, and you could argue dynasty sooner or later.
Yeah, I mean, this team has pretty much been a dynasty for quite a while now, honestly, since 2015. They've been a dynasty.
And see, if you're going to argue for any team being a dynasty, in any sport, the Warriors have to be toward the top of that list.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, let me just put it this way. You can't argue for the Chiefs. The Chiefs have only won 1 Super Bowl. I don't care, what your thoughts are on Patrick Mahomes, or I'm sorry, what the media's thoughts are, the biased thoughts.
Right.
There's nobody in baseball recently. I mean, the Astros, if they can get another World Series or 2, they might be in that discussion. Tampa Bay is, 2 out of the last 3. They could be in that discussion for hockey. But basketball, I mean, you can't look any further than Golden State.
I know, it's kind of crazy to think about, too. Yeah. Because if you think about it, it has been so dominant. I mean, it just crazy to think about that they, even after those 2 years that Klay Thompson was, out with injury and coming back and winning a championship like they did, It's like they almost didn't even miss a beat at all. They just kept chugging along and then just, won the championship. So, yeah, I would definitely say that they're the greatest dynasty in probably all of sports right now. It's almost like they're another New England Patriots of the early 2000s. So, speaking of a player that had some potential, but unfortunately, his career had to be cut short because of injury, is Todd Gurley. Man, I remember when he was a Ram and he was doing fantastic things as a running back. And then arthritis in the knees became a factor for him, and he just wasn't the same player.
Yeah, exactly. And you feel for him because, it's not like, he fell off, because he just wasn't that good. It's just that arthritis got him. And, once he left LA, even like with Arizona, he didn't amount to, what he could have been. And you just wonder,
I know.
It's again, you see Greg Oden with the knee issues, and you just think right there what could have been. Same with Todd Gurley now. But I still could argue he's the best running back in that draft class versus Melvin Gordon.
I know. It's kind of insane to think about what has truly happened with Gurley, because I remember just the few years that he actually was in, and then just actually did something, and you thought, man, he might end up being the next great running back, because the Rams always find some great running backs. I don't know if you remember Steven Jackson.
Yeah, Steven
when
Jackson.
The Rams had him.
Let's see,
he was
what
great.
What about Falk, the greatest show on turf?
Exactly, Marshall Falk too. So the Rams have always been able to find a diamond in the rough when it comes to the running back, but unfortunately, Todd Gurley just fell short and just wasn't one of those guys. And then if he did stay healthy and didn't have any arthritis, he would probably still be with the Rams, and they would be still a decent powerhouse of a team.
You can't. I agree. But what I will say is, the arthritis, you can't blame football on. That's just something,
No, of course not.
I gotta agree, though. It's going to be another career of what could have been.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, and of course, we look at Cam Akers now. He's probably going to get dealt in the next week or two. Then, Darrell Henderson, he's okay. He's not a 20-carry guy, though. So.
Yeah, they just don't have, what it takes to be, a championship team right now. They just lost so many pieces, and they're just not the same. They have such a Super Bowl hangover right now,
but they could be getting Odell back. That's the other thing that keeps swirling.
Honestly, there's videos out there that he's back in the gym and training and stuff like that, getting back to 100%. So who really knows who's going to get him? Honestly, I don't think the Bills even really need him, but Von Miller is all hell bent on it's given. He's going to come to Buffalo type of thing. So I don't know
but
what's
see,
truly on with that.
He's hell bent on it. Travis Kelce's hell bent on he's coming to the Chiefs, and I just say with what money? Because the Chiefs literally are in negative caps. They're in cap hell right now.
Apparently, they cleared up cap space with restructuring Travis Kelce's deal, giving him more of the money up front instead of long term. So they freed up $3 million in cap space, but I don't think that's going to be enough for Odell.
Yeah, that's a joke right there. Okay, if they do get Odell, then cap is just a joke at that point. We thought it was with the Rams, but this one is legitimately a joke. So, with that, I guess I'll get started unless you're...
Yeah, go right ahead and get ready with your takeaways.
Yeah, let's do this. All right. So we start with the Chargers. I had predicted on this show last week, I said the Broncos were going to beat the Chargers. And I can say that, everyone thought it was a given. The Chargers are going to beat Denver, and they did, but they almost didn't. Of course, Dustin Hopkins injured his hamstring, I believe. And then, of course, came back into the game, kicked the game-winning field goal. Man, all these years of terrible kickers and, easy misses and just constant special teams blunders, I think you can officially say are behind us.
Right.
But as far as the offensive side goes, no touchdowns. Justin Herbert had the most passes thrown for someone who didn't have a touchdown in a game. And I'm sorry, I still attribute that to Keenan Allen being out. Look at the receiving core below him. I mean, Mike Williams, and then it's just a steep drop-off after that. So, again, they got to find the end zone, though. That's the big thing. They've got to find a way to get in the end zone here. Justin Herbert's too talented to not be throwing touchdown passes. So I think that's going to be an issue.
It's been a very odd year when it comes to offenses and teams that should be throwing touchdowns and teams that aren't. And just
see, it's an odd year for Justin Herbert. Okay, it's like he's not having a bad year. It's just he's not, again, for a guy who's going into year 4, there's no doubt they're going to pick up his 5th-year option. But, you look as well at, the money he could be making. And to me, it's like he's not doing anything to boost his stock.
Right.
He's not doing anything massive to increase his stock. And make himself look like the kind of guy that could get paid $40 million a year. So,
yeah. As far as Keenan Allen goes, I think it's probably safe to have him come back after the bye.
It looks it's headed that way. Yeah, it would appear it's headed that way, and. I get, everyone's comparing Brian Robinson to everyone, but, I don't know. I just hope that they don't rush him back at this point. We're still winning games, which is good. I mean, I wish we had him this weekend against Seattle because Seattle's actually not half bad.
Right.
So, I hope, we'll get him back after the bye next week there. We got to talk some baseball now. I didn't want to talk it last week because, it was going rapid fire the first 2 series there. But if you are watching, it's Astros and Yankees in the ALCS. They will be we're recording on Friday. They'll be picking up Saturday, Sunday. I believe they'll be on later today as well. And then, of course, the Padres and the Philadelphia Phillies. At last check, the series is even. But again, the game... Oh, nope, correction. Philly now leads 2-1 in the series. But I just want to take a moment and talk the Astros. Of course, this is the 3rd time in the last 6 years that the Yankees and the Astros have faced off in the ALCS. And the last 2 times that they played in the ALCS, the Astros have had the better of the Yankees. And yeah, the one year was the trash can year. But, cry about it. That's all I'm going to say. But, again, Astros 2-0 entering Saturday. And you got to wonder now, can they, again, we've seen 2-0 leads get blown. But can they close out this series, I guess? And
time will tell.
I'll feel more confident. I wish we were live on Sunday because then I could tell you for sure how confident I feel about this, but let's
Right.
just say no one beats a 3-0 series lead. So I think that if that could answer your question, if they won last night, if it's 2-1, you know, honestly, I like the Astros rotation a lot better than I like the Yankees. So
Right.
I would still give the edge to the Astros, but I would still be cautiously optimistic at best. Um, as far as the Phillies and the Padres, this series looks like a 7-game series. I I can I can't go any different from that. Um, and I'm
Right.
shocked because again, I thought for sure the Padres wouldn't get this far without Fernando Tatis, who's been out with a PED suspension. But yeah, they're proving everybody wrong, I would say, especially me. And, how about the Phillies? I mean, keep in mind, the Phillies fired Joe Girardi, I believe, the second or third week in the season, and no one expected them to go this far. It looked like when they fired Joe Girardi, they were going to can or tank the rest of the year. But this new manager, this interim manager, he deserves to be the full-time, manager of the team going forward. So, again, next week I'm sure we'll be talking the World Series itself. So, buckle up.
Mm.
Going to be a fun time. What's also going to be a fun time is the NHL. Keep in mind, there's going to be retro jerseys this year. The Buffalo Sabres brought back the red and black goat head jerseys. Other teams have also brought their throwbacks in as well. Well, now the NHL teams have released their reverse retro jerseys, which is basically the retro jerseys, but with a twist on the rest of the team's history. Again, I don't know how the Vegas Golden Knights and the Seattle Kraken can participate when their history is literally 2 years, 3, 4, within 10 years. So, but
Right.
honestly, we thoroughly looked through before the start of this show, and we can tell you what we think are our favorites. And again, I just want to give an honorable mention to the Rangers. The Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes, they both had some really decent looking ones. And looking through again, the Kings, okay. I gotta say though, I like the Canadians blue, like the baby blue right there, or the UNC blue.
Right.
Looking through again, nothing really different with the Flyers. The Penguins look pretty decent. Tampa's, don't get me started on that. I like that it goes to history, but man, it's just interesting, I think is the word for it. And then the Capitals, man, complete 180 from what they normally have. But as far as our best, I'm going to at least start with mine here. And I've got to say, first off, the worst of them. And I'm sorry, but the Florida Panthers, yes, the hack team from the playoffs, theirs is the worst out of all of them. Then, of course, the San Jose Sharks. What were the Sharks thinking? Like, are they just trying to rip? It looks like the Rams and the Chargers had a uniform baby, and it just threw up all over the place.
I know. Like, what the hell, man?
God, it is like an eyesore. But I mean, the Florida Panthers is the biggest eyesore to me. What the fuck is that logo that they have on the thing, and then the colors?
Oh, with the hockey, the puck, and then the stick in the palm tree.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
But the best, and I think we both kind of agree, somewhat agree on this. Buffalo Sabres, I think, won this one. And they don't win much, but they won this. The goat head with the twist on the blue and, like the sword logo there. Um, Twisting with those colors. I like it. I mean, it's a unique twist on it. But also, and I'm sure many people are going to disagree with us, but I like the Vegas Golden Knights as well. I mean, like, the Vegas across the chest, and then it looks like it kind of glows green.
Yeah, it glows in dark.
Yeah, which is really nice. Again, don't know why you'd need glow in the dark when we have lit up arenas, but still looks great. I mean, I got to give them props. That looked really good. So, Jason, what are your favorites and the worst ones?
Uh, the worst ones are the San Jose Sharks and the Arizona Coyotes. Those two, I don't. Those Coyote ones, like, what were you trying to do with that design? Like, it's almost like origami, like, and just terrible.
See,
and just doesn't look any way good like a coyote would. Honestly, it just makes no sense to me at all.
And I'll give you that just on the logo. I think the sides, like right by the belt there, where it's like the cactuses and everything. I like that.
Yeah, that was cool and everything like that. But the design for the logo just looked terrible.
Yeah, you dropped the ball on the logo. I get it's vintage, but still. Oh, man.
But two of my favorite ones were the Seattle Kraken and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Those were some of the better ones that I saw. I just like those Seattle Kraken jerseys. I think they have some of like the best ones ever since becoming a NHL team, and they look very fresh.
I was about to say, it looks like Jason's a crackhead, so.
No, I mean, I don't watch hockey worth a damn, so.
Yeah.
But the Columbus Blue Jackets, those ones look fresh. That logo and the colors and everything like that, it looks like it flows all together, and it would be something that, like, if I was a player, I would be probably proud of wearing it.
See, I like them, but again, I'm sorry, I just can't get over the Sharks one as I'm trying to go up to take a look at the Columbus Blue Jackets there. Oh my God. In fact, it looks worse. It looks like the Dante Stahl, like it looks like the Kellen Winslow era Chargers jerseys now that I think of it. Oh my goodness. They are such an eyesore. Oh my goodness. But again, looking forward to this. Again, they also a few teams released the schedule for when they will be wearing those reverse retros. I believe the Sabres start November 12th as we look at things. November 2nd in a week or two versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. Looks like they'll be wearing them quite a bit through February. But again, should be a lot of fun to see all of them get onto the ice.
Right.
But with that, I think now's a good time to take our break. When we come back, we're going to discuss a few trades that the Carolina Panthers have made, and then, of course, our Week 7 picks. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment. Christian McCaffrey, the big name dealt in the last few. It actually got announced right after Thursday Night Football, I believe, that he would be dealt for multiple draft picks to the San Francisco 49ers. Of course, right before that, if you recall, Robbie Anderson on Sunday got into an altercation with Steve Wilkes, the interim head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Got benched, basically told to leave.
Actually, no, it wasn't because of Wilkes. It was because of the wide receivers coach.
Yeah, but Wilkes kicked him off the sideline, basically. And then the next day got dealt to Arizona. Didn't play much, if at all, on Thursday night. But, we want to focus on CMC here, because CMC, keep in mind, his dad used to play for San Fran, and if you want to add to it, he used to play under Kyle Shanahan's dad. Of course, Kyle Shanahan's dad, Mike Shanahan, longtime NFL head coach, but was also the offensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers then. So, yeah, father and son. So, fathers used to work with each other. Now the sons work with each other
Which is
in
insane.
San Fran. Too bad the son is a known choker. But hey, um, but I just had to point out the irony in that. But does CMC now put the 49ers in that Super Bowl discussion?
Oh no, I don't think so. I mean, it definitely adds a different dynamic to the offense, and they could plug into some pieces here. I mean, they could use them in the backfield. They can have him run the ball. So, and mind you, he's also no longer 22. He's now 23, which is interesting. But
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what Kyle Shanahan's going to draw up with that offense now that Christian McCaffrey is now on the team. So, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, I think it adds a to me. I think it adds a new dynamic for how um, Kyle Shanahan's going to run that offense again. Even when Trey Lance comes back, if McCaffrey's a part of the team, and Debo will be, um, as well as Kittle, I think it adds a whole new dynamic for him, and I think it shows that they want to win now, and they know they have a shot to win now with Jimmy G. So again, I know Jimmy G's been really rough, but you got to factor in he hasn't played the whole preseason. He never attended OTAs, I don't believe. So he's still, and again, I don't want to use the excuse that he's still trying to get things figured out, but it's the truth. He's still trying to get acclimated
He's
in a
trying to
way.
basically get his legs, you know,
Yeah. But
put together under him because he didn't get much time to prepare heading into the season. He didn't even know he was going to even start again.
yeah, I mean, he literally got kind of pushed in with no, preparations. So, I mean, here's the thing. The NFC is so messed up right now. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Eagles are 6-0 and very well deserved to be. Um,
Hmm.
but, you question, are they that Super Bowl team? Not, and it's kind of a 50-50 toss up. You know, Tampa Bay, they don't quite, I know I said Tampa earlier in the year, but they just don't look like they're there right now. The Rams, if they're going to pull any deals, whether it's get OBJ or get someone at the trade deadline, they've got a lot of work. They got a lot of things to figure out to move up. Arizona might be that team now that they got DeAndre Hopkins back and they'll get Robbie Anderson in that offense. So, but in terms of contenders, I think now you've got to put the 49ers at the top of that list. Um, Especially, I mean, I don't see Green Bay even getting close, to be honest.
No, I don't think so either.
So I feel like San Fran, based on that trade, and the other factor is if CMC stays healthy. Because if he stays healthy, I think they could be that
He
team.
might with a different coaching staff and a new team. I mean, if you know if the trainers and everything like that can like find a way to keep him healthy, I mean, I think that might have they might have found a diamond in the rough in Christian McCaffrey and could help them, really become that kind of dynamic team and whatnot. Because he's really good when he's healthy.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And again, we'll see what happens as we get into that. Um, All right. My apologies. But let's get on to the picks here. So we begin. Let me go up to the top again. Congratulations to the Cardinals. They get a big win on Thursday night. For those who said there were no touchdowns on Thursday Night Football, do you want to take that comment back finally?
Yeah, right.
Courtesy of Andy Dalton, they got quite a few touchdowns in that game. What was it? Oh, I thought that was the box score. My mistake. How many touchdowns did Andy Dalton get? Andy Dalton got 7 touchdowns in that game. Or, I'm sorry, 6 touchdowns in that game. Because Andy Dalton got the 4 touchdowns that he passed to New Orleans, and then he got the 2 to Arizona in the final 2 minutes of the half. So, sorry, just had to recap that. So, Andy Dalton, touchdown machine, man. Touchdown machine. Don't matter what side, he's getting a touchdown. But with that, let's start with the Falcons and the Bengals. Bengals favored by 6.5.
I'm probably gonna say the Bengals over the Falcons here.
I'm going to say Bengals, but I think they were a little too generous because the Falcons are that team that just does not go away this year. So, again, I'm going to say it very loosely that it's going to be the Bengals. Detroit and Dallas. Dallas favored by 6.5.
I'm gonna think that with Dak coming back, it's gonna make things a little different with the Cowboys. So I'm gonna say the Cowboys here at home in Dak's return.
Guess what? I'm going for the upset here. I'm going to pick the Detroit Lions to win this. I believe they're getting Amon-Ra St. Brown back. I believe they are also getting DeAndre Swift back, which was the tentative plan when they both went out hurt. Dallas with Dak, again, it's very clear that Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott are not on the same page in terms of the offense. Terrible decision to go back to Dak, so I'm going to go with Detroit here with the upset in their first road win of the year. Here we go. This game might be the most entertaining one, at least, looking on down the list at what the 425 games are. This game might be the best one. Colts Titans. Titans favored by 2.5.
I'm honestly gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with the Colts here over the Titans.
I feel like the Colts have had the Titans number the last few times they played, haven't they?
It feels like it.
But again, I question if Jonathan Taylor's going to play, how much he's going to play. But if he does, I think the edge goes to Indy. But for the sake of it, I'm just going to pick the Titans here. But here we go. Packers Commandos. Packers favored by 4.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Packers. Commanders are just not that good of a team, and they somehow find a way to lose these games. So I don't think the Packers are gonna come out of Washington, out of Maryland, there unscathed. I think they're gonna get a bounce back win off of 2 losses in a row.
Man, I so badly want to say the Commandos, but, Taylor Heineke will be starting. I do like that. I think Taylor Heineke will keep it, relatively close. So, I like the spread. I'm hoping Aaron Rodgers does something because someone in one of my leagues dropped Aaron Rodgers, so I picked him up because Jalen Hurts is on a bye. But I'm going to go with Green Bay here. It won't be pretty, though. Here we go. Buccaneers, Panthers. I'm not even going to make a pick for this one. I just got to say Bucks at this point.
Yeah, the Buccaneers.
I think Carolina's wholesale players, store is the reason for that one.
Yeah, it's safe to say they might as well just tank the rest of the year and get get the top pick.
Yeah, it looks like they're headed that direction anyway. Here we go. Giants, Jags. Jags favored by 3.
I don't like how the Jags are the favorites in this sense. I'm gonna have to go with the Giants. I think that they're gonna keep it going.
Giants haven't lost on the road. I think that continues. I'm going to go with the Giants as well in Jacksonville. Here we go. Browns, Ravens. Ravens favored by 6.5.
I have to go with the Browns here. The Ravens have found ways to blow leads in their 3 losses this season. I think this is going to be number 4, where I think they're going to blow it. They're going to go up, say 20-10, like they have the last 2 times they played up against the Bills and the Giants, and I think they're going to blow it. I think I'm going to say the Browns here.
And give credit to Jacoby Brissett, by the way, because he's kind of to me, he's found his way back onto an NFL roster, even if it's not with the Browns next season. So I'm going to go with the Browns here. He's been doing a great job at least keeping them relatively in the mix this season. But here we go. Jets, Broncos. Denver favored by a point in the first 4:05 game.
As much as I would love to see the Jets not get a win here because they're pushing close to being a possible threat in the AFC East, I'm gonna have to go with them until Russell Wilson can actually get a set of eyes. Then that's when I'll probably go with the Broncos. But I hate to say it, they're Russell Wilson, who apparently is blinder than a bat. Is gonna have to lose. Is gonna lose at home again.
I put out a tweet, and it's a very painful one. But I think, we've just come to the realization, and again, we were saying it, we thought Russ would benefit from a change of scenery, and we thought it was Pete Carroll this whole time, but I think the way this season has gone so far, it's not Pete Carroll, it's Russell Wilson. That's the problem.
Yeah, because clearly, if that was the case, then why is Geno Smith end up, playing so well for Seattle this year?
Yeah. And with Russell Wilson, is it something with the name Russell? Because Russell Westbrook and now Russell Wilson both just look. They both don't look like what they used to be.
Oh, no.
But Zach Wilson's been doing pretty decent since he's come back. And I'm shocked they're still in it because I thought Joe Flacco was going to be that guy for him. But I think the Jets go to 4-0 on the road, and they will beat Denver on Sunday. Here we go. Might be the shittiest game at 4:05. Texans and Raiders. Raiders favored by 7.
I just think that overall that the Raiders have the better team than the Texans do, so I'm going to have to go with the Raiders.
Mercy win. Mercy win. Sorry. I think I just gave away that I'm going for the Raiders in this one. They'll get a mercy win because, everyone thought they were going to be in the battle for the division when we all knew deep down that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
So, shows everyone that Josh McDaniels isn't the coach that everyone thinks he is. Here we go. 2 4:25 games. It looks like Fox will be having the late games in our region, while CBS will just show reruns of something. But Chiefs 49ers. Chiefs only favored by a point.
Oh, I think you forgot the You skipped the
Oh,
Chargers Seahawks.
shoot. Yeah, well, now that I read that, why don't we just pick that one first?
Definitely the Chargers over the Seahawks. But then
Oh,
again, I mean, who knows?
sorry, I meant Chiefs 49ers, but Chargers
Oh,
are favored by
um,
5. Well, now you just read that, so we'll go with the Seahawks Chargers there. Um, Big rivalry game too, by the way, because I believe the Seahawks used to be in the AFC West at one point. But you said Chargers?
yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Chargers here.
This is where I disagree again. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks here. Be honest, the Chargers should have won bigger against, or they should have won by a bigger margin versus the Broncos. Um, Again, just playing sloppy football, and I think at this point they're just limping to the bye week. And if they go to 5-2, good, but I just don't see it happening. I'm gonna say Seahawks there. But now Chiefs 49ers, with Chiefs favored by only a point.
I think that's insane that they're only like favored by a point against the 49ers. I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs here. As much as it pains me to say, I would love to see the 49ers get the upset and make the Chiefs lose 2 weeks in a row, but I just don't see it happening. I'm gonna have to go with the Kansas City Chiefs.
This is the moment where I think everyone wished that CMC got dealt at the beginning of the week, because I don't see him playing much, if at all, on Sunday, based on what we've seen so far.
If he does, it's going to be a very limited role.
I gotta go Chiefs as well. I mean, plus Jimmy G's just not looking good right now. So I think 1 point is generous in favor of the 49ers. But here we go. Might just be the worst Sunday night game of the season. Steelers Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 7.5.
I'm gonna have to go with the Dolphins. I mean, it's Tua's first game back since being on concussion protocol, so I think that he's gonna come out and poised and go out there and show that he can still be a good, decent quarterback. So I think that he's gonna beat up on the Steelers.
Yeah, no doubt there. I think he beats up on Pittsburgh on Sunday night. Pittsburgh's just not that team this year, so that's enough said, I think. Here we go. Bears Patriots. I believe Mac Jones is going to play this weekend, but again, Bill Belichick, doesn't ever give any hints. So
Yeah, I think that's what I saw too. That Mac Jones will be back.
Yeah.
But, regardless if it's Saturday or Jones, I'm gonna have to go with the Patriots over the Bears here.
Yeah, I gotta agree. But I will say that if it's Mac Jones, I think it'll be closer. If it's Bailey Zapp, I expect a blowout. Because I think they'd be wrong to bench Bailey Zapp at this point. It looks like he's just the guy that gets it. And everything I've read, it looks like Mac Jones is just the question man. So, gotta question everything. I
think it's just because he came out of Alabama.
Yeah. But this Thursday night game is intriguing. Okay. It might actually make out to be a good one. Ravens and Bucks. The Bucks are favored by 3.
See, it makes you wonder with the Ravens, would they do it 2 games in a row? Especially, or 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
where they somehow go big and then they blow the lead. I think this one, it might not be that case. I think the Buccaneers might honestly just be able to beat them the whole entire game. So I think the Bucks will get 2 wins in a row here.
See, I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I don't think there's much to question about it. Bucks are gonna have, I believe, their whole offense back. I know they're getting a big piece of their O line back this week. I do think the Ravens will keep it interesting. So I got to give props to the NFL. Finally, a decent Thursday night game that we can actually want to watch here. So
Right, exactly.
But with that, that's our picks for the week. We start with Tinkle on this now. And we go back to the New England Patriots, of course. A Pat's special team player, I believe, got a fumble recovery or something. Or he got a big return. Tried to give the game ball to Bill Belichick. And if there's a mistake you're going to learn a lesson to, you don't give Bill Belichick game balls, I guess. Because Bill Belichick legit, if you could see the look on his face, it was, the fuck is that shit? And then he's, kind of got ushered away by another coach. Rookie mistake right there. You don't mess with Belichick. Belichick's always been the on to the next one person.
Yeah, okay. He definitely has been, and he probably always will be.
So, for that, again, whoever, I didn't even look at the name. I don't even care what your name is at this point. Whoever you are, tinkle on this to the Pats special teams player.
Right. Exactly.
Might have been the funniest exchange I've ever seen. Could you imagine Tom Brady giving Bill Belichick a game ball when he rushed for 1,000 yards in his career or something? Belichick would have looked at Brady like, the fuck is this shit? But,
right.
Well, I guess in the spirit of the fuck is this shit. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Sorry, terrible analogy. But what's coming up on No Final Bell?
So we had Championship Tuesday, and it also led into Rampage as well. All together, between Dynamite and Rampage, 6 title matches. You would think it would be a pay-per-view with all of them, but unfortunately, thoughts and prayers are out to Adam Hangman Page. He took a very nasty head bump that caused him to have a concussion, so I'm hoping that he is going to be fine. He did get released from the hospital and says he's okay, so he is very lucky to only have had a concussion and nothing worse than that. So definitely pray out to him. As far as all the other matches, it was a great Dynamite. It beat out NXT and WWE, so certainly was a great week. So what is coming out of turn 4?
Well, big week. First off, I want to say thanks to those for watching live on Facebook, or YouTube rather. For some reason they removed the widget, so I can't do live stream on both YouTube and Facebook Watch. But again, thanks for those watching on YouTube. I just did not have the time or the energy to record this week, and it just got down to the last second, so I'm like, I'm just going to go live. But we went live right at 5. And right in the middle of going live, we figured out news that Bubba Wallace was going to be suspended. Not sure if you saw the clip, Jason, but Bubba Wallace got pushed into the wall, and Bubba Wallace drove straight down the track at 175 miles an hour, took out Kyle Larson, ultimately got suspended for that, and then walking across the racetrack to go beat him up. To go try to beat up Kyle Larson. So, needless to say, no Bubba Wallace at Homestead. And well, now we'll be recapping Homestead. We've also got a lot of silly season news. I'm sure some we missed. Um, but we'll be talking that. You know, and hopefully we'll get some really juicy news this week. I don't know. It seems like silly season, at least off season like news, and this is why I love racing so much. The off season news happens mid season and it's just chaotic. But one bit of silly season news I can give you that's actually in the off season. There is a fourth driver for Errol McLaren Schmidt Peterson at the Indianapolis 500, and it's a name that everyone loves, including me. So can't wait to announce that as they go to try to fill the field of 33. So that said, thanks for watching. Again, I'll be on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, YouTube, Facebook Watch, and I promise I will be on a pre-taped video this week. So it'll be on both platforms. Jason and Marty, they'll be on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, YouTube, Facebook Watch. And if you don't watch that, take this. I was debating this or the middle finger, but I think this is a much safer, PG-friendly thing. But if you don't watch that, we will see you back here for Sunday morning Tinkle next weekend. And until then, bye, everyone.